This offseason, when talking about Michael Pierce, I always prefaced it with if he comes back. Because after all, he did opt out of the 2020 season to avoid possible exposure to COVID, which makes sense. He does have asthma. He is high risk. So I always said if he comes back. Well, now we can talk in full confidence to expect that Michael Pierce, he will play for the Vikings this 2021 season. Spoke with the media today via Zoom, and a couple of takeaways from that. He said he's fully vaccinated with Pfizer, which is good stuff. He also talked about how he feels, to an extent, some level of responsibility for the Vikings' dreadful defense last year in 2020. Referenced the Saints game in which the Vikings lost 52-33. Vikings gave up 6 rushing touchdowns to Alvin Kamara. And that, to some degree, he kind of regrets his decision of opting out last year. What you got to do is best for your health. Actually, side note, I know a couple of people that went through COVID. They're all well and good. One of them being my cousin, who also has asthma. And the way he described the way he felt at times was, I want to say for 2, 3, 4 days straight, there were several moments where he had that feeling. Asthma sufferers out there where it's like, oh shit, severe shortness of breath, I need my inhaler. He said there were several moments of feeling like that during that time span. So you got to do what's best for your health. But Michael Pierce, he's been training this whole time, mentioned doing CrossFit, mentioned that he's also at 341 pounds, which is now the lightest he's been since his rookie year. So he's still going to have his brute strength of throwing dudes around left and right. But I'm only guessing here, he's also going to add an element of speed to his game, which I can tell you something right now. As someone who has fluctuated in weight many times, before the shutdown, before the pandemic, when gyms were still open, I played basketball regularly, recreationally speaking, of course. Obviously, it's not the same as the pros, but the concept is the same. When you play light versus heavy, so when you're playing heavy, you're not as fast, obviously. You can't jump as high and get those rebounds that you were used to doing. Playing defense around the perimeter, you got fast-ass dudes, point guards just going left and right. The IQ is still there. You know where you're supposed to go, but you're like, oh, fuck, I'm a little bit slow. Even trying to get my shot up, bro, it's like, it felt like my legs, I was jumping up with cinder blocks as legs. So this dude is going to be a problem. And he was at the team facility today in Eagan, according to him, because he wanted to show the team, the organization, that I'm still the same guy that you signed and I'm still in shape. And to that I say, much respect to Michael Pierce, because listen, when you know you've got time on your side, it's so easy to just get lazy and be like, whatever, I've got time to get back in shape. What's the rush? That's some serious discipline right there. But with Dalvin Tomlinson and Michael Pierce, the Vikings have the makeup to have arguably the best interior defensive line in the National Football League, and assuming that Danielle Hunter returns healthy and whoever we have starting opposite of Danielle Hunter, they may have the best defensive line overall in the NFL. I see a lot of third and long situations forced against opposing offenses. They certainly have what it takes, collectively speaking, to maybe be the best defense against the run and even against the pass. What we did not see from Shamar Stephen versus what we will see from Michael Pierce in 2021 is the push, the ferociousness. It's basically like, it's like Tetris, a series of blocks working together. I mean, freeing up guy Dalvin Tomlinson, but even Anthony Barr. I know I've gotten on his case, but, and you can probably say this about most, if not all, linebackers in the league. I get that, but he's very effective when he's left unblocked. So if his mind is right and if he's motivated enough with guys like Michael Pierce there, he should have a really, really good year. It's get hype time for this Vikings defense, and I'm all for it. Next podcast will be tomorrow. We'll see you then.